This is a donor communications tool built for you by me. So it's not generative AI, it's Lynne Wester AI. So it's built with DRG knowledge. You're going to submit your communications. It's in a sealed community, so it does not teach AI. It is password protected and secure. It does not process any personal identifying information, and it helps train you how to write better comms through a grading rubric and then suggestions and even rewrites. It's affordable. So it's $39 a month for the base level, starter level, and $79 a month for the pro level. You're going to come here, you're going to sign up for an account, and you get 14 days to try it out for free. And you can use it as much as you want. The base tool is an evaluation tool. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to choose your communication type. You're going to come here, you're going to paste your communication. You're going to click this button and it's going to run an analysis for you. Over here on the left where you cut and pasted your communication, it's got our grader highlighting feature. It highlights jargon phrases. It highlights marketing phrases. It highlights passive, not active voice. It highlights grammar errors. So those of you that have been using Grammarly, you don't have to use Grammarly anymore. It's going to be built right here in Graders. Then it's going to give you a report card. You can see this communication gets an overall D, and then I give you nice words like it needs work. And we have 6 scoring rubrics that you'll get a score on. And those 6 are my patented, copyrighted methods for what I think makes a great communication. Each communication type has different rubrics. So what works for an impact report and what works for a thank you letter are going to be different. And then you're going to get your stock readability. So that is, how easy is this for a human being to consume? Then, as many of you know, I teach that we need to deliver snacks, not meals, because most of our communications are far too big. We have a meal meter. And so it's going to tell you on a range of bite size to full-on king-size buffet what kind of meal this is. And I'll show you later what happens when you serve up too big of a meal, right? Then we're going to talk about your ego, not you as a human, but the piece. How much ego does it have? Does it talk about the organization too much or the donor? We've got 2 cards that are going to talk about the 4 pillars of donor comms: gratitude, impact, persuasion, and information. And it's going to tell you the tone or 3 adjectives to describe your communication. So those are these cards right here. So for example, if you enter a piece and it's supposed to be a thank you letter, but it comes up information, then we've got to work on the gratitude, right? The tone and personality is going to give you 3 adjectives that right away will tell you how people feel when they receive it. And then we've got one that's made for me, a donor joy meter. We want this thing to be off the rails. Is this a joy-filled conversation? The enterprise level is going to have uploadable, where you can upload style guides. You can even specialize it for voices so that your president writes in a different voice than a student, that writes in a different voice than one of your doctors. It's going to absolutely learn from itself, insular to your account. We believe in ethical storytelling at DRG. So in every piece, we're going to have an ethical storytelling check, making sure that we're not violating any of the promises we make to our beneficiaries and that we're telling stories in an ethical manner. For each metric, for each rubric, we're going to give you a tip and a recommendation. So for each score, you get a tip and a recommendation so that you can learn how to do it better yourself. And it gives you amazing tips written by me to do this. But you know what? Some days I don't have the patience to learn, Lynn, and I need a good output. Well, you come here to the Good, Better, Best tool, or GBB as we call it in Graderland. You click the button. You give it a minute. And this is where we are using Anthropic and Claude. So I want to be very transparent. This is not a generative AI tool. This is a AI improvement or an assistive intelligence tool. It is not artificial intelligence. It does not generate content from scratch. It takes the content you and your team have made and makes it better. Here you go. This is good, better, best rewrites. We have rewritten it for you, and you have 3 options. If you don't want to change a lot, or maybe you have a more conservative organization that doesn't like change, you go with the good. There's some minor improvements there. If you want it a little better, you do a moderate rewrite. And if you want the best, here it is. You're going to use that. You can cut and paste it, and there you go. It also is going to give you a suggested story in Pixar format that you could incorporate if you want to. And here's your replace your stats with stories. It gives you opportunities to take those boring statistics and turn them into stories. Well, now I want to show you how seriously I take security. So we're going to run an analysis on this email. Uh-oh, whoop, whoop, alert. That's alert that goes off in my head because, oh no, a donor name or personal identifying information has been detected. We do not want you to go any further. So that is the base tool. It's called Evaluate. But y'all, I have more. At the pro and enterprise level, you're going to get 2 new tools. As many of you know, I've been teaching core, which is create once, repurpose everywhere. That's the core tool. So guess what? We built a tool so that you can core your communication. So we're going to go back to our impact report. We're going to select it on our lungless salamander fund. And the idea of core is to create once, repurpose everywhere. So what we've built is an actual tool that takes communications you already own, communications you already have, and you can cut and paste them in. Eventually, you'll be able to upload a PDF, click a link, get a video in there, and it's going to automatically cut, make it better, and generate new content. So I'm calling this Core Plus because Core stands for Create Once, Repurpose Everywhere. This is Create Once, Repurpose, and Elevate. So you'll see here in less than a minute, you have the core message, you have the assessment of your content, you can also assess your content, and then it's going to suggest to you three, you got it, 3 core pieces, 3 repurposes of this one communication. The last idea, the last tool I created is a tool called Humanify. And so I have a report here on hepatocellular carcinoma. So we're going to take it to the Humanify tool, and it is going to take this gobbledygook, this intellectual ribonucleic disease burden and clinical context. And Humanify is going to take it and it's going to distill it down into communications that your donors and you can actually read and understand. It's found 35 different jargon terms. You can hover over them. And instead of saying hepatocellular carcinoma, you could just say liver cancer. And instead of saying predominant histologic subtype, you could say most common type. So it's going to show you all 35 terms that it's identified that normal humans don't understand. And by normal humans, not any of us is normal. So buckle up, right? And then it's going to give you 3 different versions that have been humanified: a good, a better, and a best version. This is for all of you guys. This is for all the work you do. This is for all of the work you put in and the frustrating conversations you get trying to have people understand what makes good donor comms. So the website is drgrader.ai. You're going to hear a lot about it, and we're not going to stop talking about it. We're also not going to stop educating this industry. This is